Dirt roads to rock crawling, two-buck chuck to screaming eagle, moonshine to 50-year-old single malt. We talk about it all here on Wheelin' Wine and Whiskey with your hosts, Jason and Chris.
Welcome to the Wheeling Wine and Whiskey Podcast, episode 210 in the Studio L with Chris.
Yeehaw, back in the studio, baby.
Yes, we are. This Livermore, and it is a hot tamale today. We finally got our hot weather here. I think spring is here. Spring has sprung.
All the Bermuda's starting to kick into gear finally. Longest winter ever has finally come to an end.
Well, yeah, there you go. Going right back to golf. But tomorrow is Mother's Day, so let's just get that out of the way. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
That's right.
All the mothers. But you're going to be listening to this a few days after Mother's Day, so hopefully you had a great Mother's Day. And we have a few special guests with us, Chris.
Yes, we do.
Can you believe this?
Well,
we're testing the limits of Wheeling Wine and Whiskey's soundboard and
technology, baby.
I mean, there's more wires and computers and screens going right now that I don't even know what to do. I'm sitting over here in the corner.
We got cameras going. Yeah, it's all happening.
We're using all the technologies. We got cell,
all the whoop house.
We got solar going.
You boys like Mexico? Yeah!
Yeah, Mexico. So, our guest, the one, the only, Amber the Hammer.
Yeehaw!
How you doing, Amber?
I'm good.
Good.
Yeah.
You in Gardnerville? Beautiful Gardnerville. At the hangar. You're at the bomber hangar near there.
Yep.
All right. And then we have some people I think you've met before. I'm not quite certain. Dolly and Eric?
Yeah.
Eric?
We're here.
Have you met them before? Yes. Okay. Maybe she has.
Happy Mother's Day, Dolly.
Mom and Dad. Yeah. Happy Mother's Day, Dolly.
Thank you. I'm not spending it with my kids.
I noticed.
No, but you got a beautiful view. Do you care to share where you're at? Because that looks incredible.
We are
there.
in Studio N.
Studio N. Whoa. Newport Beach. Okay, great. That's
It's
better.
Warm everywhere but here.
Yes.
Yeah. It's hot tamale.
Yeah. Well, I like it. I mean, it's finally.
It
nice.
does. It feels good. I'm wearing shorts. It's very comfortable.
So, Jason and Chris, are you going to tell me that summer has come?
Yeah, absolutely.
No,
Summer's here for a day.
spring has come. It's not summer yet.
Spring is sprung. I mean,
It won't be summer, Dolly, until our wheels are on the Rubicon and Ford Ice.
Oh,
So August.
praise to the wheeling gods. Please let the snow melt.
Right?
Well, you know that Amber is not counting on that one until August.
Yeah, we've all come to the realization that it's going to be mid July or August, especially after Sick Nick, Avalanche Technical made the journey down to the Springs in his quad, tracked quad
With tracks.
That
That
cool?
was awesome to get live from the Springs in the middle of winter.
Well,
The magic of Starlink.
Starlink made it happen.
Starlink is awesome.
Nick, you got to give Nick a whole bunch of credit for tracking all the way in there too.
And yeah, it I was trying to get that across when I was talking to him, and he was down in there, but it's gnarly. I mean, people that haven't snow wheeled before don't realize, when you're snow wheeling in winter, it's hard because you're just constantly burying and stuff. But when you're in the spring, you bury all the time, and the variable snow conditions, and the snow conditions change every freaking hour.
That's right.
And then there's snow bridges because there's water, melting and running off under the snow, and you go to drive over that, and then it collapses. So he had some major crevasses to negotiate around and through. And that's why I was like, dude, it's starting to snow. You need to get your ass out of there, or else you're spending the night in the cabin or something. But yeah, it's crazy.
I know.
So-
I feel like hopefully this year we've all learned a little bit about snow wheeling. We all got out and did it at least once and figured out, oh, hey, this is kind of cool for like a week.
Hey, just snow wheeling in Lake Tahoe, going up Highway 80 and some of the neighborhoods up there. It was I was plowing through over a couple feet of snow a few times this winter on city streets. It was a blast.
Prius
yeah.
did some
One
wheeling.
for the, one for the record books.
You just did some snow wheeling,
In the
Eric?
Prius, yes.
What? I do tell.
Yeah.
Exactly. Elaborate,
We
please.
took it up there, didn't we?
Yeah, we took it up to Tahoe and took it over to Amber's place and came over the mountain,
Wow.
came up 88. It was beautiful. It was just gorgeous.
So it's
But
almost like you
there was
don't
no
own a
snow
Jeep.
on the roads. It doesn't count if it's on the side
Well,
of the
it's
road.
Prius.
Yeah, it's not like you did more immigrant trail with a Prius, Dad. Come on.
Don't you own a Jeep with 40s?
Prius with 40s.
No, a Jeep with 40s.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's the challenge in driving in snow in a rig that's built for it?
Yeah, exactly.
Could have the smart car on 35s like Ian's building.
He built
Okay,
a
there you
smart
go.
Oh, what?
35.
Yes, smart car on 35s.
Man.
Video coming soon to YouTube.
Gas
near you.
or diesel?
It's gas.
Oh, okay.
I don't think they diesels
Yeah.
here in America.
He's gonna
Oh,
race it at
yeah.
King of the Hammers too.
We had one.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
So let's talk about doodle go back in time a little bit to February, that big event, KOH, King of the Hammers, and maybe let's go back a little bit before that, because I think you were putting new suspension in like 2 weeks before the race or something. You want to talk about what you did to the Samurai to get you across the finish line this year? You were able to do the entire KOH course.
Yeah. So the big upgrade that I did this year was the shackle reversal in the front. Also, previously I had Samurai rear springs up front, so they were a little bit shorter. This year I went to YJ springs. They're the Trail Tough kind of special sauce YJ swap springs.
Okay.
But the shackle reversal was Randy's kind of idea, and it helped immensely. Like your CJ is
I did that
shackle
on
reversal,
my 5. Yeah, it was night and day difference.
yeah,
And I don't
it's-
race.
yeah, it made the sucker so much faster and more stable. And there were at least 4 or 5 times that I was on a rock trail and I was climbing something really high in the front. And if I had had shackles in the front still, they would have unloaded and sent me over.
It just, oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's another aspect there.
I mean, that was the first thing that I did with the sucker when I went to the Toyotas and the YJ springs in the back and Samurai springs in the front. Was like I took it up Chocolate Thunder as soon as I got to Hammers in 22 and went over backwards.
Yeah. I remember Trail Hero too, something about.
Well, that was
don't
on
know.
31s.
Oh, 31, so it doesn't count.
That was more fun.
Night.
That is still got to be one of my favorite
time,
night
but on
runs. Yeah.
But this time I was trying to climb the left side wall on Chocolate Thunder, and it was literally the first time I'd wheeled the sucker after I'd done all that stuff to it, and it just unloaded and sent me over backwards.
Yeah.
And this year, like, that wasn't an issue at all. It was just so dang stable. I had to get used to it.
Right on.
Yeah, and so it was the shackle reversal made a huge difference, and the King shocks made a huge difference.
Yeah, getting some King shocks into there that were tuned.
Yeah.
And
Right.
wow. I mean, yeah, suspension, it just goes to show how much suspension can help. Because you were like on a buckboard before, man. I felt so bad for you and your brother and stuff riding in that car.
It's actually kind of funny because compared to the previous years that I've raced, my body actually took less of a beating because the shocks were so good this year. I felt significantly physically better after the race. And it was all because
Well,
of the
that's
shocks.
probably because
See?
you've been going to the gym every day too.
Well,
Well, just for the last like 3 weeks. For Hammer. I don't have time for that.
Chris has been going to the gym also. Yeah, working it out. I work out.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Oh yeah, there you go. There he's got the what's that? The 16-ounce curl.
1 pounder.
So okay, so the suspension and unfortunately, you didn't get your fuel injection on because COVID's still alive and well in the business world apparently, and that's what everybody uses as an excuse because parts can't show up on time. So you you had no fuel injection, so you're still running carburetor this year.
Yep.
Was there? But it ran good, right? I mean, you had it. You didn't have any major running issues, correct?
No, not at all. Actually, we did mess with the carb a little bit. We found some clearance issues with my intake. And my friend Philip fixed those. You remember Philip, right?
Thomas,
Yeah.
Texas Thomas.
Texas Thomas, yeah.
Yeah, Texas Thomas.
Yeah, the little Toyota 3K carb from Certified Machine runs great. It's basically a plug and play kit for Samurais, and it runs real nice. Well,
Nice.
actually,
Okay.
the funny thing was that so another upgrade that I did this year was I widened the front axle by 3 inches to match the rear IFS Toyota housing and to
Okay.
package the shocks a little bit better. So it's the same dimensions as a housing from a company that will not be named. So I tried to order that housing before Hammers, and it didn't show up until it was 2 days before I had left for
Oh,
Hammers.
no way.
Oh,
So I got home
timing's
and it
not
was
good.
ready for me, and it was the same with the EFI. The EFI was waiting for me when I got home too.
Oh, perfect.
So
Day late
yeah,
and $1 short.
that axle widening in the front was crazy because you were posting that up on the gram, and I'm like, damn. I mean, I'm obviously confident in your welds, but I was like, that's like, I don't know how that's all going to hold together. But then you had it trussed and all that stuff, and obviously, and there's not a whole lot of weight in the Suzuki, I guess. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I basically just because I've got the 84 or 85 front mini truck housing, so it's got the bottom truss on it, and I basically just extended that over to the passenger side, and that whole truss on the bottom is 125 chromoly
Yeah,
too.
okay.
So maybe take a beating.
Sure.
But I mean, dude, I build axles
Yeah.
all the time, so
I know, but just as a non-axle builder looking at it, I was like, damn, that seems crazy, but it's awesome. It's cool.
gotta do what you gotta do.
Now, what about axle shafts? Is that I mean, you had to have a custom shaft made, or was that a stock shaft? Oh, here we go. You got
It's so because it's the same dimensions as the housing that I ordered, they already have stocks made
Okay.
for it. So it was
All
only
right, perfect.
$125 for the shaft.
Okay. Yeah, I was curious. I was like, oh, well, this is getting all custom, and then once you customize one thing, you got to customize everything, right?
Right.
Yeah. Don't need to get that expensive.
No. So okay, yeah. So the widening of the front there, shock package, the reverse shackle, the modified YJ springs, and then you had some new tires on there too, right? You didn't race those tires last? Yeah, you did. You had
No,
those.
yeah, these are the same tires I raced on last year.
Same tires
Same
as last year,
these.
Falcons. Yep, that's right.
These.
I remember.
No.
Jeez.
Oh, BFGs. That's
Yes.
right. That's right. You were BFG now. You
Yeah.
were moving
Edit,
on
edit.
up, girlfriend. Moving on up like the Jeffersons.
Right.
All the big
man.
names. King, BFG. I mean, come on.
War.
Bomber Fabrication. Warren.
Warren.
Oh, yeah. And then Jesse
Yeah.
Combs
Jesse
Foundation.
Combs, that's right.
That's
Actually,
just, wow.
Trail Ready is on board now too.
Are
Oh,
they really?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Real deal.
And the real deal. Yeah.
Mhm. And
The girls
Elite
down
Motors.
there. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and then let's see. What else am I there what else did you do? So the EFI. I wanted to go back to the EFI real quick. So you haven't put it on yet.
No,
Okay, it's still sitting in the box. Okay, I was
still
curious
put
if
in the
it
box. Yeah, I've driven
okay.
my Samurai twice since I've gotten back and haven't worked on it. Life's
Yeah.
been crazy.
Is that going to be a plug and play thing, or is there going to be a lot of tuning involved, or how's that?
From what I understand, it's pretty plug and play. I've got to modify the intake a little bit, just for it to bolt on. But I can't remember if I have to download a tune specifically for it. But I have a buddy, Brian Downing, up in Oregon, who raced his Samurai in 4500. And he's already gone through the whole process, so I'm just gonna get with him, kind of.
Okay, cool. You were going to say something, Dolly? No.
Amber, did that suspension lend to you doing circles around the boys on the trail at Hammers?
What do you mean?
Yeah. Well, I heard Stuart talking.
Wait,
Stuart,
what?
your co-driver, your brother. I heard him talking about you guys were running circles around the guys in the traffic jams.
Oh, yeah, I passed a bunch of people in a traffic jam and they got really mad and started nerfing each other. I don't know if I told this story on the podcast yet, but it's pretty good. I know I pissed off a lot of people, but
Well, yeah, let's hear it because you've got a nimble little vehicle that can, and you're not afraid to try some silly lines. So, yeah, I want to hear this
and
one.
we have to
Just gonna
remember, there's
send
no
it.
whoop hows there.
Yeah, there's no 60. What do we figure? 62 horsepower.
yeah, 60
Mhm.
horsepower.
Yeah, that's the
Um,
crankshaft, right?
So this trail actually has a name, but I can't remember what it's called right now. It wasn't named on the course, but basically,
It's
this-
called Samurai Warrior.
sure. But we were
That's what
coming
it is
out-
called now.
We were coming out of I think our second time through pit 2.
Okay.
And it was you come around the mountain and up this this trail, whatever it was. And Justin Hull was broken right at the top of the
Oh.
waterfall. And there was another car broken right in front of them. So those guys were out helping everybody winch up the waterfall because they were stuck in the good line. And so that's what created this traffic jam. And so there's like, I get there and I'm all pissed off because nobody knows about it. Nobody told me about it. And no one can drive. Sorry. Shit.
Just call it like you see it, Amber. Don't sugarcoat it.
Okay. So there's probably 5 or 7, like 45 and 4,800 cars waiting to get up this waterfall.
Okay.
And I see a line to the left of them, and I take it and get in front of a whole bunch of people in line, and they're just kind of sitting there. And so they see me pass them all and start like revving their engines and spinning their tires and just going like full ham up this like really shaly trail and not catching any traction because they're just all whiskey throttle. And they start nerfing each other, trying to not let me into the line. I was like,
Oh,
No way.
have fun. And then I ended up passing all of them later anyways.
That's so good.
That's racing, man. That's racing.
Yeah.
Finally, the story from your mouth.
It was I feel kind of bad because it was a super assholey move, but it was pretty hilarious to watch those more expensive cars just on each other, pissed off at a samurai. Guys, come on.
Yeah, see? That's freaking great. I love that.
That's
I love
awesome.
these stories because, even as good as the live feeds getting in these drone shots and the helicopters and stuff, but you don't know every inch of that race course of what's going on, and
No.
stuff like this doesn't make it to the live feed all the time. So
No.
that's freaking awesome.
I know it was such a bad traffic jam that eventually I feel like there were like 2 or 3 photographers standing there. They had like hiked from remote pit. They had to have hiked from the remote pit to get out there. Just for the fact
Really?
that's how bad it was.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So what did you think of the course this year? This is your 4th year running.
Yeah. Well, considering the fact that this is the first time I've done any of the rock trails or like a significant amount of the rock trails,
Right.
it was a ton of fun. I had a ton of fun rock crawling. I thought it was really cool that they made the first lap go backwards from the desert classes. So that made it a little bit more manageable for us after the trophy trucks and stuff had chopped it all up the other direction.
Because of the ruts that they grind in and stuff, right? That's why. Yeah.
And the whoops they create.
And the whoops.
The whoops and everything. Mm-hmm,
So-
mm-hmm.
The first lap was not too bad. I mean, obviously, I can't go fast enough to make it bad for myself, but but it wasn't horrible. And then there were a couple sand hills thrown at us that were kind of a pain. But if you did your homework, it was there and you could figure it out. So
Yeah, and I met up with you when you were pre-running, and we were out trail riding, and you had just completed the sand hill and was getting ready to air back up. You remember that? And
Yeah.
I had
Oh, that,
you're like, I'm waiting for somebody to air me back up. I'm like, well, wait a minute, I got a compressor. Here we go. So
dude, I was just looking at your pictures from that the other day, and I was like, was I out there alone? How stupid is that? But I was at the sandhill with the other samurais, so it wasn't that stupid.
You weren't alone. It's just the other samurais were struggling to make it up.
Yeah,
So
I got separated from them at some point, but I think I
yeah,
had to camp after that.
yeah.
So what was your secret getting up that sandhill?
So me and all the other samurais got together and did the sandhill all together. And the secret for us was that we had to air almost all the way down, like 3 psi, and then punch it. And that gave us enough traction to make it to the top. So when me and Stuart hit it on race day, that was our plan. Was we were going to air down. We'd borrowed a power tank from Steve and Tyler, which is really nice of them. And so we
Very
were going to
cool.
air down and then air back up at the top of the sandhill. But what ended up happening was we decided it would take the same amount of time just to take the bypass trail around the sandhill that it would to air down and air back up. So that's what we ended up doing.
Okay.
That's that little rocky creek that comes down next to the sandhill.
Yeah, it's like off to the
Yeah.
left.
Mhm.
We'd kind of pre-run it with all the other samurais beforehand, and it got way more burned in on race day, so it was a lot easier to find on race day. But
Isn't
was
it
kind of
So did you
that's
just walk
what's
up it?
amazing to me?
for pre-running?
Uh-oh. Say again, Dolly, you were breaking up.
Did you just walk up it?
When we were pre-running
Yeah.
it?
Well, no, in the race.
No. Yeah. No, it wasn't an issue to just drive up the bypass
Okay.
trail.
Okay.
It wasn't hard at all.
I was wondering about that because they don't.
I was going to say it.
The live feed doesn't cover things like that.
Yeah. It was like you had to kind of know where you were going because it wasn't all the way burned in. You could get lost pretty easily, but it was a good, easy option for those of us with less horsepower.
Yes.
I was going to say it's wild to see those trails and the race course get burned in, as you say, because, you're out there pre-running in the beginning of the week and there's a ton of traffic out on those trails. Obviously, all the racers and stuff trying to get all the intel they can. But after actual, the first couple races go through, it is insane. And then I went wheeling out there on Sunday, so after the 4400s went through. And holy smokes, I was dragging axles because their trenches were so deep in some of these trails. It's just amazing. And you say burned in, it's freaking burned in. I mean, Stevie Wonder could follow those trails at that point. So
Like Autopia from Disneyland.
yeah. It was like Autopia. Yeah, you just let go, just bang off the freaking rails, man. It was. So yeah.
Is Autopia still there?
Yes, it's still there. It's still there, Chris. You can go visit.
I haven't been to Disneyland since 2000.
Minnie Mouse has been asking about you, actually.
I bet.
No, Minnie Mouse is asking about that ass.
Oh, wow. Hey, oh.
Lorenzo.
Man.
It's not even dark out yet, Dolly. Come on now. This is a PG-13 podcast.
Yeah, she was talking about Lorenzo.
Come on.
You're talking about Lorenzo.
This is the Mother's Day special.
Okay. Yeah. Trying to keep this PG-13. And look
Holy
at Dolly's dragging it
smokes.
right down into the dirt.
Fucking talking about asses and stuff. I mean, my God. Oh,
Chris drops the F-bomb. Nice
Well, you're
job.
talking
There
about
we go.
Mickey Mouse and Disneyland, and my Disneyland is Johnson Valley.
Yeah.
Well, it's Autopia, man. We're just banging off the rail.
Yeah,
and the rev
that'd be a
limiter.
good name for a trail. Autopia.
Autotopia. Yeah, that would be a good one. So what else, Hammers? So let's continue with that. And so you make it into the rock trails, which you have started before, but then timed out.
Yeah. So this year, like previous years, one of our first trails was Spooners and Outer Limits. So I think we came down Spooners and then up Outer Limits, and going up Outer Limits there's usually a traffic jam at the very bottom, and going all through Outer Limits is usually a traffic jam. So part of strategy is that you have to be fast enough to at least like get ahead of that traffic jam, because that's what killed me my second year in 21. Was the traffic jam at the bottom of Outer Limits was so bad that literally no cars were getting through. There were so many cars stuck or broken at the bottom that nobody was getting through. So I just turned around and came home. But we ended up kind of just picking our way through, and that's actually where the Samurai really shined. It was super nimble, and I was able to squeeze past a whole bunch of cars. And this isn't the same scenario where I'm pissing people off because, well, they were getting pissed off because I was passing them, but it was a little more reasonable because it was a samurai doing samurai things.
Those samurai things are pretty wild.
Yeah. So I can't remember. I think Stuart might have pulled cable once in Outer Limits to get us up one thing, just because he was already out of the car and we were trying to be as fast as possible. But after that, dang it, I wish I had the map from this year handy.
As far as rock trails, yeah. I have no clue. It's all right. It's just rock trail after rock trail.
Yeah.
Seen one and seen them all, right?
But yeah, so
we're either going up or down.
After the traffic jam and Outer Limits, it's pretty smooth sailing. Like you'll come across 1 or 2 or 3 cars backed up in a trail every now and then. Like occasionally you'll run into a big one, like I was just talking about in that waterfall where Justin Hall was broken. But part of strategy is just being able to pick your way through those, or getting out and helping the other drivers get through them so that you can get
things moving,
which Stuart did a whole bunch of times too. Just traffic jams are part of strategy. It sucks, but
it is when you get later into the race, right? I mean, the people out in the first 10 cars don't have to worry about it, but it just starts compounding as the day goes on in those trails. And Chris, you know about Outer Limits. That was one of your favorite, scariest trails out there at Johnson Valley.
No joke.
So
I mean, there's some areas in that trail where if you get hung up, you can't even get out of your car because you're going to fall, 25 feet. And I think that didn't that happen to what's his name? Jason Shearer fell out of the car on one of the trails, landed on his tailbone and hurt himself.
I remember that.
There's legit risk if you get wadded up in one of those trails in an area where there's a high risk factor of getting out of the car and risking injury.
Sure. Yeah. So it's just part of that, unfortunately, part of the KOH that we don't see as much because they're filming the leaders coming across the line and everything and up front, and here's all these cars just Bay Area traffic jam.
Hey, do you think
commute traffic?
Do you think Lorenzo will let us borrow the helicopter next year?
Yeah, we could get he's been saving up. He's still paying off his debt. So I don't know if it'll be next year. I'm thinking maybe 2028. He might be able to.
I don't think the FAA is going to renew his license, quite frankly.
I haven't told you yet, Chris, but Lorenzo started an OnlyFans page, and he started. It's called Only Asses, and he started this.
I heard that page was already taken.
Yeah, no, he's really he's a marketing genius,
Only Asses too.
Ooh, yeah, baby.
Only Asses. So, and he's looking for some more people to feature on there or asses. So just throwing that out there.
So that this is the first year in 4 years that I actually got to see Amber on a trail during her race.
Right. So yeah, let's talk about that for a minute, because this whole operation has grown over the years. You have a ton of friends, family that have surrounded you to get you across this finish line. And So we had Tyler on communications in
Oh,
camp
he
there,
did
Right.
such a great
and
job.
yeah, so all this stuff adds to making it happen, right? And yeah, your mom's always she's director and making sure all this stuff T's are crossed and I's are dotted and running around,
Camp
and it
mom.
Wasn't backed up.
right, yeah. And so it was cool to see as you were getting near Hammertown, she just freaking went off like the Tasmanian devil and rounded up the troops and got things going out there. So you got to go to Turkey Claw, right,
Oh,
Dolly?
that was the at the end of the night. Yeah,
Okay, but you did go to
I
Chocolate
got
Thunder.
to see her come down Chocolate Thunder. Yes.
But
Yes,
tell
yeah.
the story.
So that's okay. Let's hear
What's
the
the story?
You holding
Uh-oh.
off the
spectators.
spectators.
Turkey Claw.
That's in Turkey Claw.
Yeah.
That's in
Oh, yeah.
Turkey
So
Claw.
we knew that she
Turkey-
was out of time. She was coming around the backside, and her big obstacle, the last obstacle before coming into Hammertown, would be Turkey Claw. And they were closing. I mean, they were opening the race course, letting it go cold. That means that the whole public gets to go out on the race
Yeah, the
course.
public goes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we rounded up everybody in camp at that moment. We all took our rigs out to Turkey Claw and we blocked it. We blocked Turkey
You barricaded it.
We barricaded it so public couldn't go up because Abe was telling me, Abe is the guy that run Turkey Claw, and he was taking the barricades down to let the public in. And he said, yeah, yesterday or last night, he said there was 90 vehicles going up that trail when we opened it up. So I'm thinking to myself, ain't no way she's going to get down that trail if we don't block it. So we did. We blocked it, and we talked to everybody waiting, and they were just so excited to have her come through. And in fact, we had 3 race cars come through, and she was the 3rd.
See, and
Awesome.
that was super cool. Because I you were out there running around like Amber's coming, and then once people realized that it was Amber in the Suzuki Samurai, right, the ultimate underdog, here she comes, and everybody cleared the path for you, which is
was
pretty
so awesome.
pretty cool. We'll call you Amber Moses now, just partying Turkey Claw. That's awesome.
And I have people in camp, the next day they said that was so much fun. That was the funnest all week.
And that's a really, it's a cool moment for you as parents, you and Eric there, but it's a cool iconic moment of one of the many moments of KOH, right? Like that's the racing family, that's the mentality, that's off-roaders in general of we want to go out and, we just spent all day out here at Turkey Claw watching all our racers come through. Okay, now we're going to go wheel, but you know what? Wait a minute. Hang on. We got some fan favorites coming through, and that's just cool. Our community is so freaking cool.
It is.
And then like even when we rolled into Hammertown, and I can't remember if you ran in or if China ran into the volunteer meeting, right?
China was holding a volunteer meeting, and she was listening on the radio, and she heard us talking about you coming in, and she brought all the volunteers out to cheer you in. And then Courtney Prost
stole a
went and found a
stole a flag.
It was a flutter flag, but it was still checkered.
And she handed it to Ben Napier.
Yeah, Ben Napier got it.
Oh, Ben did it. Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
It takes a village, and we all came together at that moment.
It was dark, and then she wheeled up on the stage right in front of the fire pit and everything, and got your fanfare there. That was super cool.
Yeah, that was. Yeah. And they turned the lights back on the stage for you.
Right. Yeah. So, what was the time difference from when you were off? How far off were you?
I think it was 2 hours. I think they cut the course off at like 6 or 6:30, and I came in at 8.
Yeah.
Okay. So I
know where I can trim the fat for next year.
So I was gonna say 2 hours. It sounds like a lot to the layman here that doesn't race or anything, but there's still some. You got some ideas.
Well, you got to figure there was 106 went off the line, and only 6 vehicles came across the line in time.
In her class.
No, 106 on the 4600 day.
In her class.
No, all the 3 classes together.
That was all 48. No, 40.
That doesn't sound correct.
That doesn't sound right.
Like 15
Wait a minute.
or 20 come across the
in
line
time.
at the end of the day.
Okay, so
Yeah, for the whole day.
Yeah, between 4800 class,
48.
500 class, and 4600 class, between Legends, Mod, and Stock, we usually get like 15 or 20.
Okay,
Yeah.
just let the mom have her proud
Okay.
moment.
Okay, go ahead. Tell us, what was that? So 3 made it across the line in time. That was awesome. That's
I
good.
think only like 5 or 6 stock car classes did actually
Make it.
come across on time.
Yeah.
It was the
Yeah.
Broncos and like 2 others.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see. Oh, wait. Oh, the 3 Broncos made it across.
Yeah.
The
Big
Bronco
surprise.
class.
Well,
they need to do just. So what do you think? Should they just have a Bronco class? I think so.
The over budget class.
The over.
Whoa.
Tell us what you think.
Yeah.
They can do whatever they want. I'm gonna run my
Hey,
own race.
can we
There
do
you
it
go.
like
Right.
a handicap system?
Very diplomatic.
Do it like a golf handicap system. You know, the lesser woo pows, the more handicap you get.
Yeah, there should be something with the
Yeah.
horsepower factored in.
I think
I
so.
agree.
Nah. I mean, we basically pick our poison with the Samurais. We could have a V8 Jeep if we wanted to, but meh.
You do it. Yeah.
Well, you'll have fuel injection next year.
What?
That'll level the. Well, give you a little bit more power.
6 more
right?
horsepower.
6 whole horses.
That's like
God,
40%.
What if
a
you-
lot with 6 more horses?
Yeah. What if you run like race gas or something? Could you do that? Pump up the octane a little bit?
I could run race gas. Actually, I haven't considered that, but that's a really good
mean,
idea.
You got to have higher compression for really high octane, but maybe you could run like 93 or something.
Bump up that
8
94.
horsepower.
Basically, that's like the next big upgrade thing that I can do to my car legally is like little motor upgrades here and there.
Uh-huh.
We'll see. Or I can
Can-
just see what kind of classes I can run in Score or Nora and swap the motor and
Score.
Could you add 4 more cylinders?
Compound turbos.
Maybe you should have a Samurai motor in the front and a Samurai motor in the rear, so you have, dual drive that way.
We'll disguise one to look like a compressor.
Yeah, we could make it look like a power tank. We'll make it look like a power tank. We could package that in a power tank.
I sure hope
Oh,
no
God.
Ultra 4 officials.
Or
listen to
you
this
could disguise
podcast.
it as like a York compressor.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go. That too.
same size.
Right.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Pay no attention to the 4 York compressors in the back of the
That's
Jeep
right. That's right.
with spark plug wires coming out.
and extra exhaust pipe.
Spark plug wire or exhaust hose?
Me.
And a transmission they connected to it. Pay no attention to that.
I don't know. We got some friends doing the EV thing. Maybe we could throw an electric motor in the back that we can conceal a little bit. I don't know.
Ooh, you can be a blended class.
So solar power panels on the top.
Yeah.
You know,
Like a
hybrid,
like
we
a
could-
Prius.
Yeah.
And Starlink.
No, that's yeah, and Starlink for sure. We'll have Nick load his 12-volt Starlink to you.
How
so
many
you can
cars do you think are
stream
gonna run,
live.
How many cars do you think will have Starlink on board next year?
I don't know. I know trucks. Chase. Well, there's no Chase trucks, but trucks in the pits had Starlink.
Yeah.
So, you didn't do live feed this year like you normally do out in the desert or anything, did you? On IG.
You know what? I can't remember if I ran that by Tom or not, but him and I were like, this is going to sound really millennial, but him and I were just vibing on the perfect level, and we were so focused on lap 1, just driving and making it as fast as we could that I didn't even think about it, I don't think.
That's good because that was like super cool when you were out in the desert. Okay, we're doing 52 miles an hour. I'm doing a live IG. It's like that.
It's been a tradition at this point because we
Yeah.
get out there and we get bored. So.
Yeah.
So explain who Tom is.
Yeah. So Tom did the first leg. Tom, go
Yeah.
ahead. Tell us about Tom.
We showed up. I'll tell you the whole story about me trying to find a co-driver this year. How about that?
Okay.
So we show up to the lake bed, and I had invited my friend Toby. You know Toby.
Toby.
Who?
Do you know Toby, Chris?
I don't.
I finally met Toby. I'm
How's that
vaguely remembering him, but I did meet him.
Toby.
Toby, Toby.
Ah.
Snivelous.
So
Go ahead.
I had invited him to go drive with me because he's always been like a huge part of me racing. And we get to the lake bed, and he doesn't fit in my car. He's too tall.
He physically does not fit.
Physically does not fit. So the whole week,
Didn't he fit in it before?
No.
Oh, he's never fit in it?
No.
I
Mm-mm.
thought he
No,
right
he's
seated
never
at one
No.
point.
No, he never has.
maybe
All
at
right.
trail for a second, but that
Yeah.
wasn't like the official capacity.
Right.
Gotcha.
You know? I think he hopped in, and even without his helmet on, his head was like within an inch of the cage. So we were like, all right, this isn't
So
gonna
the
work.
hunt was on.
Yeah. So I asked a bunch of people, and I asked a bunch of people to ask a bunch of people, and Tom was there with all of his race stuff. So I asked him to do it. He's like, yeah, let's do
No.
it.
First, you had to ask him if he fit. We had to.
Well,
we
yeah, that
had to try
Gotta do a
him.
test fit.
must be this short to ride.
Yeah. It's not a height requirement. It's a short requirement to ride this ride. That's hilarious.
And Tom's not even that short of a dude either. I guess he's just like, he must be more leg than torso because he fit just fine. But yeah. So yeah, Tom Luke co-drove for me, and he did awesome.
He did the first lap.
That's cool.
Yeah, he did the first lap, and Stuart did the second lap.
The desert lap, yeah. And he's local to you there, isn't he, in Nevada?
Yeah, he's in Gardnerville too.
Yep. So
Yep.
That's cool.
And he had just like severed his wrist on a cutoff wheel trying to get his rig ready for him.
That's right.
So he was riding with me in a cast.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. He has race experience. It wasn't like just Joe Schmo off the streets here. I mean, he knew what he was getting into.
Tom used to race 4,400. He still got his car, but life's kind of gotten in the way lately. So
Yeah.
one of these days he'll race again.
And yeah, there you go.
Oops,
Yeah.
sorry.
so you guys were vibing, huh?
Oh yeah, he's like, because he's got so much experience driving, he's also got experience co-driving. He knew what I needed and how to communicate it to me. And even though we were still just like, we don't run a Lowrance or anything like that in my car, we just go off of our cell phone. So he had Onyx off-road going, and he was just going off of that. And we had Chris Ray's course notes, so he couldn't read the notes on Onyx, but he saw every time that Chris had made a note. So he's like, all right, there's something coming up. We don't know what it is, but it's something. It was great.
So a little
Those
better
are good little
communication
trigger
than you and
points.
your brother, or a
Yeah.
different kind of communication.
Different kind of communication. Yeah, because like me and Tom will, it's a lot more fast stuff in the desert lap, right? There's a lot more coming at you at a higher rate of speed. So we just kind of stayed on that level and stayed within that communication. Whereas with Stuart and the Rocks, we're going slower and we have more time to BS. Like Stuart and I had a conversation about how whales have different languages.
Wow. What?
Oh, wait a minute. They do?
They do, yeah. Like if you
It's
have a
true.
whale-
It's true.
If you have a
I mean,
whale
like
from,
Spanish and English and Chinese and stuff,
like
or
the
what?
Arctic Ocean and the Pacific Ocean, they're not going to speak the same languages. They're going to
Oh my gosh.
So they're dialects.
Yeah. Dude, I shit you not. And these are the conversations that me and Stuart have.
Well, to branch off of that, so they have politics. I mean, do the politics vary from one ocean to the other?
Oh my gosh. This is wow.
Whales are pretty peaceful people. I don't know, Chris.
And you guys
I
are
don't know.
stone sober at this point, correct? I mean, this is crazy.
After racing for what, it
It's-
was 6 hours in the morning, we're getting a little loopy. I'm not going to
They're-
lie.
I was gonna say
Punt-
delusional.
Punch drunk at that
Yeah.
point, right?
Yeah.
Is that runner's high?
Yeah, something like that. Oh my gosh, that's
For sure.
funny. I know. I really. I mean, it's going to happen here in the next few years where drivers and co-dogs are mic'd up and we got live feeds in cars and they're going to be like NASCAR going from car to car and getting the intel. And
And we're cutting to Amber Turner.
Yeah.
And here we go. Hey, did you know whales talk different languages? Okay, we're cutting away from Amber Turner.
and we're moving on.
Exactly.
Let's see.
And we
Oh
go-
my God.
And we have a turn coming up in 3, 2, 1. Yes, this is
Yes.
the car we want to stick with.
You're killing the car, Samir. All right.
Oh, come on now.
Samir, listen to me. So Tom jumps out. Your brother Stuart jumps in, and you guys do the rock laps and everything. And then he's probably out of the car more than he's in the car, and on some of those canyons, it sounds like.
I want to say he only jumped out like 5 or 6 times, and that's kind of a lot. But
how many times did you have to use winch, or did you use your winch at all?
it was like 3 times.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
I want to say we had 2 obstacles that we did end up winching because we figured we wanted to save the car and it would be faster for us than just hammering on it. And then we flopped in
the one flop.
And, yeah, we were all by ourselves, so we used the winch then too to flip us back over. So
yeah, your Warren winch. This is where you put in the Warren winch. See, Amber.
Yep, the Warren winch and the Factor 55 ditties.
There you
Perfect. Those will be in the show notes, ladies and gentlemen.
When Stuart was trying to flip me back over, he was, because I have the ultra hook on the end of my winch line from Factor 55, and he was chucking that thing like at and around rocks to try to get my winch line around the rock to create a winch point. And I was like, dang, that thing could take a beating. I wish I had a video of this for Justin.
Yeah. That is a cool, yeah. So the hammer loop on the end of your Ultra Link there, yeah. That is cool. That's a really cool, quick, obviously race setup, but great on the trail too. I definitely want to do something like that. I gotta talk to Justin.
Let's get him on the show.
Yeah. But anyways, so you guys self-recovered from a flop.
Yep.
And because it wouldn't be a trail ride if Amber didn't flop at least once.
Jason, not let's talk about
it.
Well, it's true.
It's true.
It's true. It's true. Did I ever mention about that night run at Trail Hero?
She flopped it twice, didn't
It
she?
was twice within like 112 feet.
No, it was more like 50 feet.
I don't even know what I flopped on the second time.
I don't even know how. Yeah, you were all by yourself up there. I had come back down, and I'm like, what? She's upside down
again.
What was the title of your video? This is tougher than kindergarten?
That's right. Yeah, kindergarten's tougher the second time, or easier the second time around.
Hey,
That's
you
it.
can't park there.
Yeah. Kindergarten's easier the second time around. I like that one.
Yeah.
We've all been there. So what was it like for you coming into Turkey Claw then, where you parted the Red Sea of and all these people watching and family and friends down there at the bottom of Turkey Claw, and you're like, dude, we're gonna make it to Hammertown under our own power.
Oh man, so we were coming across I think that was Mean's dry life bed in the back there.
Mm-hmm.
And so we hear all the chatter on the radio from our team going up to clear Turkey Claw, and they're all back and forth. They're talking about like bologna sandwiches or something super random. And me and Stuart are just getting pissed off. Like, can you guys please get off the radio? We're trying to race here.
I don't think
Yeah, that's
like
right.
It was kind of hilarious, but we were also like still racing. So so we knew that the trail would be clear for us, and there were a couple of cars that were stopped at the kind of sandhill at the back. And we got around those guys pretty easily, and then we started dropping Turkey Claw, and there's just like this sea of people, and like we see a couple people like hiking back up towards us, and then we recognize it's like my sister and Tom and other people, and we're like, oh cool, they're not spectators.
Tom, Lenny, yeah, they were they were remote pit that way out there.
Yeah.
For
oh
you.
yeah, I passed them 3 times. They got lonely.
I know that's what they're saying. They were like radioing in. What's the update? And we'd give them the update. Okay, we're still here.
Yeah, those guys are troopers. I love
They're
them.
great. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're great.
But so yeah, it was the craziest feeling that I can't even barely explain. Like the whole time we were in the rock trails, like after Outer Limits, I was holding my breath so hard, thinking like, "There's no way this is happening. This isn't happening. It's not happening." And then I finally crossed the finish line, and I'm like, "Oh my god, we did it!"
Made it.
Yeah, it
That's
was.
yeah.
Absolutely.
4 years in the making.
Yeah.
Plus, really, I mean, from when you were volunteering and had a little inkling that you might race someday, and then here you
Yeah.
are, and
I
then
mean,
to do.
our first Hammers was 2014, so 2024 is going to be our 10th year. And I've been telling my mom for the last 2 years, like, look what we've done in 8,
Yeah.
9, 10 years. Like, look how far we've come.
It's monumental. It really
Yeah.
is. I mean, and but unfortunately, that's our sport. It goes from just dipping your toe in the water to just
All
fucking
in.
full belly flop in the deep end. So that's what we do. It's very
Oh,
addictive.
Yeah, but we
I mean, look at your parents. They've even upped their game with a badass Jeep now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. And our camp this year, our camp was just wonderful.
Oh.
I mean,
Oh, my
we,
gosh.
we
Yes.
had
Stonehenge
TVs,
wouldn't be the same without you
we
guys.
had tents.
We
It was just incredible what we had, and the personnel.
Well, you were responsible for the food tent there, and that was a genius idea, and worked out awesome because that obviously the hub of the kitchen's always the hub,
Yep.
right? Everybody's got to eat at some point, and
Able to get out of
that tent,
elements.
yeah, that tent was money because we had our cooking area, our serving area, and then we had some tables like a diner in there with the TVs on either side that Tom Rosa hooked up. And we, the Starlink worked
Oh,
awesome
Wayne.
Yeah.
where we had the live feed going,
Yeah.
and then Tyler was running communications out of there that day. I mean, it's
You
just
basically didn't have a reason to go to Hammertown.
no, you really, yeah, other than to hang out with people and go to the fire pit and stuff, right? But it
Yeah.
was cool. And the other point too is a lot of people came to us because they know where we're at now, and we had a lot of cool people coming in and out of our camp.
Oh yeah.
And what was the count? It was like over 70 RVs that we had in our camp. It was well over 2 acres. Yeah, we're stepping it up. So I've contacted a paving company. We're gonna have streets and street signs next year, so it's gonna be pretty cool.
They're gonna put
Are
in.
we gonna have the fence around us just like Hammertown Heights Estates? Are we
Yeah,
gonna
yep.
We're putting in utilities too, right?
We're putting in a fence, a border fence, so we can keep people out. Yeah,
And
there's
a
gonna
toll
be
booth.
security guards.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
like they do any good.
Well, I don't know. You were a pretty good security guard this year. I remember sitting there at the dinner table and somebody rolled in with a big entourage and you freaking launched right over to them. And, who are you here for? Nope. Okay, turn around.
Yeah, I let them in the night, and then the next I found them some
You did.
occasion.
You did. No, it was great. It is. I mean, just on the logistics of hammers for racing is crazy, and then just like the logistics of just like the average Joe going down there to watch for 4 or 5 days or a week is crazy, and then you compile all of our our resources that we've done for a camp, and it's been pretty cool to see how that's evolved over the years.
What was fun for me to watch was to watch Anthony and Emily their first year, and remember their
Forerunner.
the Forerunner. It was their first year racing.
Yep.
They'd been volunteers in the past, and this was first
Right.
year racing. They tried so hard. And how far did they get? A mile
in the steering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of heartbreak happens on the lake bed.
And
that's for sure.
And that's what it starts with is, you have to try and through these things and get it dialed in. And after 4 years, I think, Amber, you got it dialed in.
Well, yeah. I mean, we had a team in camp that didn't even race. unfortunately.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, and I'm not bringing that up as I'm bringing it up to show how crazy it is to even get to the lake bed and then get to the start line and then get across the finish line. I mean, it's monumental. It's the hardest
I mean,
one day off road
yeah.
race.
I mean, they got there. They just didn't get out of camp.
Yeah.
That was the drag. But
Yeah.
that's racing, and that's what happens. I mean, as I said, a lot of heartbreak. A lot of heartbreak happens out there.
Especially at
And if you don't
Hammers.
want heartbreak, you gotta break your heart more and just keep trying.
It is, right?
Yeah. Either
Gonna
let
hurt
it
a
beat you, or
lot
you
before it's
step
cool.
back, you reorganize or regroup and do it all over again.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, us in general as off-roaders, we're a pretty hardy bunch, but man, there's a lot of gut punches when you step up to that racing level, and and financially, right?
No.
Financially too, and
Just
all that.
put your credit card on the dash.
Well, at least,
you know,
Hammertown has gotten a little bit easier because there's food, there's services, there's groceries,
Mhm.
there's showers. It's a little bit easier to get around and last out for the whole 10 days. Whereas,
Yes.
Oh, for sure.
do you
You're right.
remember,
I mean,
Amber,
it
those
is.
days when there was no food on the lake bed? There was barely
Yeah.
I
toilets.
remember how big of a deal it was when Habit Burger was on the lake
Oh,
bed.
yeah.
That's right.
That
It
was
was like, oh
awesome.
my God, Habit Burger.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
was monumental.
It's evolved. I mean,
Yeah.
just the last couple 3 years, seeing the breweries out there, and now they had that breakfast house out by the main gate, and
They had a breakfast house?
Well, they had that. Then they have that place that was serving
It's a
meals.
brewery.
Yeah, the
The
brewery, but they were serving
Yeah,
breakfast
the
and lunch.
Fody.
but-
The Fody.
I think it
The
was
40.
a restaurant too. I know we were.
Yeah, it was a restaurant.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Did you guys ever make it out there? I never made it out there.
To the 40?
I drove by it a bunch of times. Yeah, the Fody.
No, never made it out there.
Yeah.
Went by it once.
I know Austin Priest from Irate 4x4 and his wife, they did a little date over there. They said, hey, we're going on a date. I'm like, what are you talking about? And because they were from the East Coast, right?
Yeah. Well,
And so
Central.
they rented a side-by-side in Las Vegas and brought it in. And they went over to the 40 and played cornhole and had meal and drinks and everything and came back. And I go, how was your little date night? And they go, it was awesome. So that's kind of
Wow.
cool.
Hammers is so established that you can actually have a date night.
Right. You
Yeah,
can have a
no.
date night on the lake bed.
Well, right. I mean, it's you're like you say, yeah, everything's there now. You can probably get groceries can be delivered, and probably have laundry facilities now too. I mean, it's crazy.
Wasn't there? I think there was a wedding on the lake bed too.
Oh, was there?
Yeah, I heard about a wedding.
Did you officiate?
No, I didn't officiate, but I can.
Hey, wait a second. You mean night run isn't a date night?
Well, that could be a date
That's
night.
what Eric always tells me.
Is that what he tells you?
Yeah.
Night run, date night.
Hey, Eric's a smooth operator. I
Yeah.
can see how that.
Yeah.
Night run.
Smooth operator. Yeah, I'm not going
Bow
to sing
chicka
anymore.
wow wow.
Oh dear.
All right.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's talk about future. So coming up, we've got the Delta Classic.
Yes.
And you're getting ready, you're gearing up for that Memorial Day weekend, right? Little rock crawling competition.
Yep, that's the one I look forward to every year. I've been going to this one since 2017 was the first year out there. And it's in Delta, Utah, which is like the middle of nowhere, but it's probably only like 2 hours south of Salt Lake.
Salt Lake, okay.
And it's just super duper fun. So hopefully I can make it out there this year.
It's a very I mean, all rock crawls are family orientated, but this one's got a little extra special, right?
Yeah, it's the community and the people that have been coming to this event have been coming for 20 years, something 10, 15, 20 years, and it's just the same group of people, and they do a whole bunch of cool stuff. Like we've had
lawnmower races. Lawnmower races.
Yeah, we have lawnmower races. We have.
There you go, Chris.
They did like a
Chris could. Hey, Chris might be able to compete.
You would. You have to wrap them up in bubble wrap.
Oh God.
Wow.
He's got a bunch of natural padding.
I just don't want you to get hurt, Chris.
They get kind of rowdy.
I'm well insured.
Barbie races. Gosh.
Haven't done Barbie races yet.
Somebody brings out a pool.
Yeah.
Oh.
Usually my group of friends, everybody pitches in and someone buys an above ground pool.
Oh, really? How do you
Yeah.
fill it? Got a water truck over
There's
there?
there's water on site, yeah.
Oh, is there? Okay.
And then like it's not like hookup camping, it's mostly
Right.
dry camping, but there's a couple spigots. A couple years ago, one of my buddies brought a hot tub on a trailer.
Oh,
Pretty cool.
that's been my dream. I have a whole dream trailer I want to build with a kitchen and a hot tub, but the funds haven't been there yet to do that. But maybe someday. Maybe someday if this
Fingers
podcast
crossed.
thing takes off.
When Jason pulls in with a big Kenworth truck,
It will be pulled with a no. It'd be a Peterbilt.
Peterbilt, whatever.
Yeah,
Same difference.
Peterbilt.
No, it's not
Class
the same
8 truck.
difference.
Oh goodness.
Here we go. Or a Beaver motorhome. Maybe I'll get a Beaver or
Big ass
Prevost.
truck, BAT.
Yeah. So so Delta rock crawl. So what class would you compete in? Is it what?
I'm
Because
pretty sure
there's
it's
different.
still stock class legal.
Okay.
Yeah, so back in 2019 was the first year that I competed in Delta with my Samurai. I want to say that was the first comp I ever did. No, that was Cal Rocks, my bad. But so I was up until like 11 o'clock the night before I left, building my cage to get to the Delta Classic Rock Crawl, and drove the 11 hours to get there, and then got up and made it to tech within like 5 minutes of tech closing, and then won the class.
Wow.
With
That's
like
cool.
It was like, I think, because you know how rock crawls are scored, it's just like golf.
Yeah. Yeah. Low score wins.
Yeah, low score wins. So my low score was negative 161, and second place was negative 82.
Wow.
Yeah.
You slayed it.
That's like my golf score.
Like your golf score. Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, and it was like me and my co-driver weren't even trying at all. Like I came out there because it was fun. I think it cost like $60 to enter the thing, and we were just like, we're just gonna have nice clean runs and see what happens. And we got to the end of the first day and we looked at the standings and we're like, holy shit, we're winning.
That's awesome.
That's
so
cool.
who's spotting for you?
My buddy Parker Jackson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He used to work at Low Range Off Road. That's how I met him. But he's a big, tall dude with a Samurai, and I call him my 300-pound winch because I've seen him pull other Samurais through these rock crawl courses before.
Wow.
He's like Jason Berger.
Yeah, pretty much.
Berger did that. I remember watching Berger at Donner and just yanking on Shear's car and stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, this guy's a freaking animal.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool stuff. Yeah, I James, Samurai James and I did that little amateur rock crawl competition at Trail Hero last year, and I could see getting into that. That's my kind of competition. Slow, technical.
Yeah, there needs to be more on the West Coast. Like we used to have 4 or 5, and now they're all gone.
Yeah, I know. We got to see if we can stir up the pot here and get something going, because that's super cool. And I know it won't take much convincing for James to compete, and I'm sure we could pull a few other people together and a few phone calls and IG posts. So that would be fun. That would be fun. And the technicality. I mean, what was cool for me was talking to like Dave Wong and Brassanini and these competitors, and getting all these little tips. I mean, they were really open book with us of how to, it's not cheat the system. It's like use everything to your advantage. Like, you think about, oh, well, I'll throw a rock here to help or move a rock to help, which you can do, but it's like dusting off areas or throwing dirt on areas where you need to do a front dig so the tires will slip and stuff, and things I didn't even think about. And now I clue into it when I watch these competitions. I'm like, oh, okay, there you go. Using every bit, every the Swiss Army knife, everything in your Swiss Army knife to help get you a good finish. So yeah, that's cool.
It totally makes it a better wheeler too. Like I think I did 3 or 4 rock crawl competitions before I even considered hammers, because that's usually like the progress, how most successful racers get into it is they'll do
They
rock
call it
crawl.
the gateway drug, Amber.
The
The gateway drug.
exactly.
That's
Yeah.
it.
It's the marijuana of Ultra 4.
Or alcohol.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
But
Wow.
yeah, there's a lot of fundamentals that you learn from competition, and not a whole lot you can bring over to racing, but you learn a lot about preserving your car and actually making it work the way it needs to work.
Yeah. That's cool. So then, Chris got something.
No, I'm just.
Oh, you raised up the mic.
I know. Well, I'm fidgety.
You are. You. We haven't heard you breathe this episode. We wanted to make sure you were still alive.
I'm not breathing anymore. I stopped breathing.
So okay, so after that you moved to Zukicon. So you started Zukicon how many years ago?
The first one was in 2017.
And that was just like sitting around a campfire, having a few adult beverages, going, "Hey, let's do a Rubicon run. Let's call it the Zukicon." How did that originate?
So, I don't know if one of my friends brought it up or like someone on the Samurai Facebook group brought it up, but someone was like, someone needs to do an organized run on Rubicon. So I was like, okay, I'll do it.
I'll do it.
Pretty much. And so I, created a Facebook event and invited a bunch of people. Of course, the very first year, 2017, it was literally me and my one friend, Joe Bartley, that showed up. And then Morgan from Sidetracked Off-Road was there for a minute in his old tracker. And that was the whole Zukicon.
Okay.
As far as Samurais are concerned, because my dad was there in his 4Runner, and we had another buddy in a Cherokee. But so it pretty much grew from there, and we've had a consistent 15, 20 vehicles for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
It's been really cool.
And you don't have to be a Suzuki to go on the run with you.
Yeah, correct. It's I try to gear it towards Suzuki owners so that anyone that has a Suzuki and is new to wheeling and wants to experience the Rubicon Trail can come and do it with a group, because not everybody has that when they're first starting out. But we take anybody that wants to come with us.
So like a rock buggy mid-engine with 43s would be
even fairly stock sidekicks.
Yeah.
Sidekick.
We had a mostly stock sidekick come with us last year, Doug and
Sabrina.
Sabrina. And they drove 18 hours from Oregon, drove the sucker, didn't trailer it.
Oh, wow. That's hardcore.
And then they broke like a front axle shaft and a radiator.
That was about Buck, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They were broken before, I think, Indian slabs. So we were working on it all day, or all Saturday morning. Some of the other guys in the group were working on it, trying to get it fixed just so it could drive out.
And they had to drive back to Oregon.
Well,
they
got dragged from Buck all the way out.
All the way
That
out
does
to
not
Tahoe
sound like
side.
They lost all-wheel drive just after Buck, and so it was a long journey, but we got it done, and it was fun too. We had a good time.
And then they trailered it.
Yeah, you say that now. At the time, you were like,
Oh man, even Doug and Sabrina had a good time. They were like, everyone in the group had such an upbeat attitude about the whole situation. Nobody was like, "Oh, this sucks. Why is this happening?" Blah blah blah. And that just sucks. Everyone's broken on the trail. Everyone's been there. No one needs the attitude. So
you're in a beautiful environment, and you make the best of it, and that's what you do. And
there you go.
Good.
Everybody had fun at the end of the day. It's an awesome event every single year.
So are they coming back in like a rock buggy on 43s or something this year? Because that's how I feel like that story's going to end. No, I can see if they took a side kit through there, they're like, F this, we're getting crazy.
So they've actually got another sidekick, I think, that's way more built.
Okay.
But it was down at the time. So that's what
and they didn't realize what Rubicon actually was. And so they didn't expect for it to be as difficult as it was.
What do you mean? That's like,
Well,
yeah.
Okay, to be fair, I think I've kind of neglected to say how hard Rubicon is, just because it's easy for me. The last couple years, I'm getting better at it. Because we did have a completely stock samurai show up to do
Oh.
Rubicon with us at Loon Lake, and I had him. I was like, dude, because he drove it from San Jose.
Oh,
He didn't
shit.
Wow.
And so I was like, dude, you need to go hike Gatekeeper and let me know if you feel comfortable or not. And he hiked Gatekeeper and he came back and he's like, nah, we'll go home.
And yeah, and Gatekeeper is like nothing what Gatekeeper used to be.
Yeah.
And it's like if Gatekeeper scares you, it's like, no, yeah, don't do
So
this. Yeah.
what about the other guy that had a fairly stock samurai with his two older sons or something like that? I forget their names. But yeah, it looked like a fairly stock samurai, and that dude was doing awesome. He basically was right there after every obstacle and stuff. So
What color was it?
I'm thinking it was silver. I don't know, but yeah, there was a fairly stock samurai that came through with us, and he was banging a bunch of stuff, and it was a beautiful samurai too, and hardly any damage happened to him.
Not
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah. I mean, a samurai can make it through on 29s on a locker. I think it's gonna be slow and steady and kind of painful, but it'll do it.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, that's like I get people all the time like, could I get through the trail? Yeah, we'll get you through the trail. It may be some winching and dragging and stuff like that, but we can make it happen.
Yeah.
Range Rover with a 3-inch lift and 4 passengers and all their gear. So that 3-inch lift goes to a negative 1-inch lift.
Negative 1.
How do you fit 4 people in a samurai with all their gear?
This is a Range Rover.
Range Rover.
Oh no, I've
Range Rover.
had a group roll in a samurai, 4 people in a samurai with all their gear on top of it.
Were they clowns?
If they were, they left their makeup at home.
Are you talking about gladiators again?
No, gladiators. No, so it's a cool run, and that is a neat aspect that people can that never been on the Rubicon got a samurai and go, hey, can you get us through? And
lots of spare parts.
Get you through.
I try to bring as much spare parts as I can to help out samurais. That's I help where I can.
Yeah.
One year I actually had a guy break his steering box, so I took the steering box off of my samurai and let him borrow it to get back to his trailer, and then I had someone else drive me back to my car. But yeah. So
I got a question, and I think I know the answer, but you don't have a welder on your rig, do you?
No, Dad carries that.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, I got
one,
that
Dad?
for Father's Day from him.
Is it a Ready welder?
So it's
what do you
the
got?
Ready welder. But yeah, I carry it, and every time it's needed, Amber just happens to be there, and she's the one using it.
Tell the truth.
What's the truth?
I
can't weld.
You can't weld.
I can't weld.
I've been a professional welder, but my welds are atrocious. Oh yeah.
Really? Well, your daughter
that
can
thing
weld.
will definitely get you off the trail in a pinch.
Sure will. Has already.
And half the time the welder's been used has just been some random dude that broke something. It's like, okay, here we go.
Yeah, that was like actually this last year. We were coming through the Granite Bowl, and there was a guy in a 2-door tracker with like tons under it that I didn't know Zukicon was going on. He was like just there on the trail, and I was like, "Hey, nice rig. Oh, it's broken. Oh, you need a welder? Check this out." So we picked it up and he got home.
Yeah, I feel like you need like a Premier Power welder under.
I don't know if that Samurai engine can handle the pull of the alternator.
So I was wondering, like when you crank up the juice and put the rod onto the metal, if it's gonna like stall the engine or not.
Full throttle. Here we go, guys.
You have to just twist it at 5,000 RPM.
Make it run backwards.
Well, Yeah.
Oh boy.
Well, that or the Bun Trail
Yeah.
welder. That's a couple batteries there. That would be good. But yeah, I feel like you should have a welder, being who you are and welding.
It's just, I mean, most of the time my dad's wheeling with me, and so
Yeah,
I have him carry that in my food. I
mm,
don't have space for a lot of stuff.
I know.
And there's
There's not
always
much room.
somebody on the
Yeah.
trailer with a
That's
welder. Yeah.
yeah, that's true. That's true. So okay, so Zukicon got moved. What are the dates? Did we say what the dates are?
Yep, the
How
dates were originally the second weekend in July,
she
and
gone?
now the dates
August
are
20.
August 25th through 27th. So it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday deal. Always
Late
20
August.
25th through the 27th.
Wow.
Yeah, because you know what's crazy this year is because of all the snow, and things aren't going to start until, really, let's be realistic, after 4th of July on the trail. So these events have been moved, and then even it's going to be like Jeepers Jamboree, Jeep Jamboree. I mean, there's like 4 or 5 weekends in a row
Oh,
that the trail's
Rubicon.
going to be, Rubicon, that the trail's going to be tied up, where they have permits to run the trail exclusively for their event. So if you're not
Correct.
part of that event, you're not going to be able to run the trail, unless some of them, you can wheel at night. But
Hey,
Run.
Amber,
Night run.
has
Night run.
Jamboree's been moved? Have you noticed?
I haven't seen if Jamboree got moved, but I know Rubicon got moved, and that's kind of what spurred
Yeah.
me to move Zukicon.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah, I got Zukicon on
Yeah.
here. Yep, 25th,
So
26th,
so
27th.
since
All right,
Amber
perfect.
has
I'd like to
moved Zukicon, that has freed us up for the Gambler 500.
really quick before we transition, I just wanted to kind of put out our itinerary for Zukicon.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, because people always ask, like, well, what's your plan? So Friday, we get up, we all meet at the Loon Lake Chalet at 8 a.m., and we go from Loon Lake to Buck Island on Friday.
Ooh, yeah, good.
Hope on a good day, we'll usually get there around 1 or 2 p.m., set up camp and camp at Buck for the night. Saturday, we pack up camp and depart Buck around 9 or 10 a.m. We'll usually leave in 1 or 2 different groups and head down
Okay.
to Rubicon Springs. So I just put in the reservation for Dirty Dozen.
Great.
So we'll camp at Dirty Dozen on Saturday night, and then Sunday we all wake up, pack up camp again, and half of us will leave out the Tahoe side, and half of us will go back to our trailers at Loon Lake.
Okay, very cool. And for those listeners that don't know or haven't run the Rubicon, so it's how many miles is the trail? 14. They
It's like
say
14, yeah.
technically, yeah, 14. So Spider Lake is towards the beginning there with a little sluice, and then you come in, crest over the slabs, Indian Trail into Buck Island. So that's a good haul for the first day. And Buck Island has been like the main camp now on Saturday night, Friday and Saturday nights
Yeah.
on the trail. It used to be Spider, but you can't. I mean, you can camp there near Spider, but you can't camp on the lake unless you hike in. You can't drive your vehicle right up to Spider Lake anymore. Yeah, and then from Buck to the Springs is not too bad. I mean, there's definitely some crazy obstacles in the big sluice and stuff that you got to negotiate. But you get into the Springs, and it's paid camping when you're in the Springs. It's
$20 a night.
$20 a night, and you can make reservations online, and there are camps with names like Rocky Point and Dirty Dozen Camp, and so on and so forth, which is really cool. So just to keep our listeners up to speed here
But you
that's how
don't
you can
have to
make
have
some reservations, but you
No.
don't have to have reservations. It's just like when you got a big group and you want a particular camp, you make reservations. But otherwise, if a camp's open, you can take that camp if it's not reserved, and it will have a sign on it that says, "Hey, reserve these dates
And bring cash.
and bring cash," because if you're going to pay on the spot, the caretaker that's there at the time.
But
is
another
cash
reminder
only,
is
so.
Don't take
also
American
make
Express.
sure that it's not a big weekend, that Jamboree isn't closed the
Right.
trail, or
No, you do. Yeah. if you're traveling any kind of distance out, just plan accordingly. And my best suggestion for those people that are out of the area is to contact a club. Contact us. We'll put you in contact with the right people to find out and plan your trip accordingly, because it would suck to go all the way out there and then the trail's closed for an event. And this summer is going to be a rough one because it's everything's
It's going to be compacted.
compacted into a small time frame, because right now, I mean, typically we would be wheeling the Rubicon right now, through some snowdrifts, some small snowdrifts, but right now it's still buried in snow, as we saw. So
I think
from
actually,
avalanche.
I think you can go on the Rubicon Soda Springs website where you make the reservations for the springs, and they
Uh-huh.
have a calendar of events going on.
Okay,
So
perfect.
even if you don't want to make a reservation, you can look at the calendar and see what campsites are taken up and if the trail's blocked out for that week or that weekend.
That's a good point. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, but I mean, yeah, this group here on this call has done the Rubicon numerous times, and it doesn't get old. It's fun. We may take it for granted at a point here where, like you say, it's like, oh, I forgot to tell these newbies how hard this thing really is. But
Yeah.
it's a beautiful trail, and it's definitely a good challenge. And there's some optional side shoots. The RTF property is phenomenal. I ran that last year for the first time.
Oh yeah.
And then, of course, Old Sluice is still just authentic old school Rubicon. And you want to get into some rock crawling in the Sierras, that's a good one right there. So cool. Well, yeah. So Zukicon in August. And then I got to go back a little bit, though, because on our 200th episode, we phoned a friend, and
A lot of friends.
yeah, we called you, Amber, and you just happened to be in Johnson Valley with your parents, with Randy, with at the compound, so to speak, there at Dave Cole's compound.
That's right.
So that was pretty cool. But yeah, you guys were having a blast down there while we were recording our 200th. We didn't get the invite, though. Chris, did you see the invite come in the mail? I didn't see the invite for that one.
Lorenzo hit it.
Oh, Lorenzo. It went to Lorenzo. Okay. Well, that
I don't even
explains
think
things.
we knew we were going down
No,
there.
I'm just kidding. I'm just
Now we roll.
Lorenzo actually
Chris-
ate it.
Chris wouldn't have
You know,
gone
it's a
anyway,
lot of
so
fun to
it's
see
okay.
Dave
I
Cole
might
play
have
with
gone.
his bombers. He loves his bombers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And how cool is it to wheel a bomber with the guy that built the bomber? So that's pretty cool.
Oh, dude.
So,
Yeah. It's
yeah.
those things basically sell themselves. They do so great in Johnson Valley and wherever you put them. Like, ask anyone that owns one; they're gonna say it works fantastically.
Well, yeah. So I just came back from Tennessee from some guy named Ian that has this big tire garage down there in Tennessee, and he just finished building his bomber and wheeled it, and he just said it flat out works. He goes, I don't know what kind of voodoo magic you guys are doing there at the hangar, but it just flat out works. And
Secret sauce.
yeah,
Secret sauce.
it's pretty cool. Yeah, someday I hope to have a bomber of some sort. It might be a little radio control bomber, but something.
I can't even afford one of those.
Hey, we all got to start somewhere.
We got to start somewhere. So talk about that. So how long have you been working there with Randy now?
It's actually 2 years this month.
Holy smokes. I can't believe that. I was thinking about that this morning. I go, man, it's over a year. I know that for sure, but 2 years. Wow. Congratulations.
Yep.
What a move, huh?
Oh my gosh. I am.
Do you feel like you work anymore? I mean, I know you work hard. I'm not discounting that. I mean, it's like, but I had a job for years that I didn't feel like I worked. I'd go on vacation. I couldn't wait to get back to my job because I enjoyed my job that much.
Oh yeah,
until I didn't. But
yeah. Yeah, I'm on the same boat. Like, I'll go on some trips and just, by the end of the week, I'm like ready to go back to work, ready to get under the hood again, ready to move some stuff at the shop, make things happen. Because I found the most rewarding thing for me in this job this year was helping out the other racers that have bombers. So we had Aaron Smith and Rory Romero and Corey Allison all with brand new bomber cars, and it was cool helping them get to the starting line. And then they all finished the races
and then
too.
I
They
got to
did,
help some of the
yes.
parts off of the cars. I found the hood off of Aaron's car and brought it to him at the finish line.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh,
I didn't know
no,
this
no.
story.
What happened
It fell
was
off in the course?
there was a pileup on Sledge, and we were volunteering that day on 4400 day. And there's a pileup up there, and me and Zach hike up there to go check it out. They're doing their thing. There's another dude further up the course. He was broken down, so we hike up to go see how he's doing. And I see this piece of sheet metal on the side of the trail, and it's like, that looks familiar, but I couldn't quite pinpoint what it was. So on our way back down through the traffic, I'm carrying the sheet metal, and one of the guys on the trail, I don't even know who it was, but basically said, yeah, that belongs to this guy named Aaron Smith, and he's got a bomber. It's like, that's what it is. It's the hood off of a bomber. No way. So I hiked the thing down, threw the thing in the Jeep. We go into town. We're hanging out at Mid-America's camp area, and they got the huge big screen and stuff.
Yeah.
The Jumbotron.
The
And Aaron
Jumbotron.
Smith
MAO,
comes
yeah.
through, and it's like, no way. So Amber
On the podium.
So we had given the hood to Amber to give back to Aaron because, she knows who he is and stuff. So the thing is in her Samurai. So me and Dolly hopped in the Samurai with the hood, blazed down to the finish line, and he was still up on the finish line on the podium. And
On the stage.
so I
Stage,
slapped him
uh-huh.
when they're done with the interview and everything, because he was one of the rookie drivers.
Yes, he was a rookie.
Yeah, he was the rookie.
Yeah,
he was
so-
the only
in the
rookie
rookie
to finish
program.
in the 4800.
44.
Yeah, so it was
400.
hilarious.
4400,
So
sorry,
after the
4400.
interview and everything, I slapped the hood back onto the car, and he looks over and is like, no way, he found it. And so it was a total.
That's funny.
He made all those panels himself. Those things take a lot of sweat
Yeah.
equity into all of those panels.
Oh,
So,
yeah. And
not
he
a-
just built a killer dash, too, for that bomber.
Yeah, to keep the mud out of it. That was kind of
Yeah.
cool, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Doing
was
that Texas
was that
wheeling that they do.
Should've
that
sent
rookie
his co-dog to
program.
go
That
find
was
the hood.
such a good brainchild for Dave Cole. That rookie program.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was cool, and the I don't know if you've watched the
Hello.
whole YouTube series on that that they did. The
Mhm.
7-8 episodes. It's a cool documentary of featuring these teams and their journey. Getting their car ready for the Hammers, racing at the Hammers. And then the aftermath of the Hammers, and yeah, it's a crazy story. I mean that. The Nissan that race there, those Camacho, the Camacho team Camacho, that is a crazy story of them just getting out there from Florida. I believe it was Florida. Holy smokes.
Well, the Trail Chasers had that whole
Yeah.
story about them.
Yeah, and then Snail Trail interviewed him too, but oh my God. Anyways, the rookie program is super cool and getting people involved. I know Evolve Racing was part of that. Keith and Melissa with the EV, the Test 10. So that, I mean, they had nothing but good things to say about all that. So yeah, that looks like that program will
Definitely.
continue. That's a good thing.
Yeah, they did a lot of cool stuff for
Yeah, and the
racing this year.
T-shirts. The
Yeah.
T-shirts were a good thing.
Yeah.
T-shirt
Oh
sales.
yeah, the T-shirt sales. So what did you come up with, Amber? Because there was the T-shirt sales, and then the tickets. When people were buying their tickets, they could name a driver, and you would get a little kickback from that.
Yeah, so
And you were in the top 5 or something.
Yeah. So ticket sales was that as you were buying your spectator tickets, you could select a driver's name at checkout. And so I came in like 3rd most popular driver to be picked
That's
overall. So I can't even remember off the top of my head how many ticket sale they
Yeah.
had, but we made $10 off of every ticket sale. So that helped a lot. And then also on the King of the Hammers website, it was so freaking cool. They had us upload artwork and they put it on shirts, and they did the whole process for us between, buying the swag, printing the shirts, shipping them to the people that bought them, and we made $15 per shirt. So
That's cool.
we didn't have rankings for shirt sales, but I think I sold like 50 shirts.
Holy shit, really?
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
great.
And I had a whole bunch of people come up to me and show me their shirts while I was at Hammers. I was like, "You're awesome! Thank
That's
you."
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a cool deal. Again, the community is great. Yeah, so Slauson was up there too. He was number 1 or 2, right?
Yeah, Randy took the whole thing away. So.
Yeah, and then Megan Miller was right there, not too far behind
Yeah.
you.
I want to say Megan was like 5th.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
newbie on the scene.
sure.
Good old Megan there. That's freaking awesome. She's racing today at Prairie City, so
Yep.
Right.
She
haven't
placed
checked
first in
to
her
see how
first
she
race.
did,
She's
but
got 2
Racing's
more
probably
races
done
to
by
go.
now.
I'm sure.
oh, great.
Yeah.
She's such a
Nice.
badass.
Nice. She doesn't have any fear either.
Nah.
So, yeah, so very cool. Two other things I got to touch upon here before we wrap this up is Crawl Magazine did a crazy like 8-page. You got 8
10.
pages or something in Crawl Magazine, but who's counting?
10 out of 8.
So
10.
10. Well, counting the two back. That's
Mom's
right. She got the
counting.
back inside cover. Yes.
Yeah.
So I know Texas Thomas there had written the article and got
He's
some
such a
great
cool
photos in
dude.
there. And Andy
Yeah, it was great
Carnitas.
to have along and like just document the whole process. It's your, you come into this every year and you never know, like, is this going to be the year? This was the year, and Thomas was the person to document it, and it was awesome.
That was cool. Yeah, that was very cool. He's no stranger to writing. He's got quite the pedigree of journalism there.
All
for
in the
different
racing
magazines
genre
and,
too.
Yeah, it's yeah, and I'm still super old school. I love picking up a magazine and looking at the photos and reading articles and I love the Crawl magazine because it is our people, right? It's our hardcore crowd, and when I got a little intel that was going to be coming out, and then when it hit my doorstep, I was like, holy crap! And I flip the page, I'm like, holy crap! Flip another page, holy crap! And so you took up the majority of it there, so that's awesome.
I know. That was one that was like a long time coming too. I think I'd been talking to John Herrick for a year or two. He'd always mention like, yeah, our readers love the Samurai. I'd love to do an article on it. And
Sure.
it's just crazy how the stars just align. Because just like any off-roader, everybody wants to be in Crawl magazine.
A little print time. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I know I got a little, I got like 2 little photos in Four-Wheeler magazine back in the day for my CJ. One was for the goofy shackle that my dad and I came up for the rear. The other one, I can't remember what the other one was. It was something all flexed out or something, but I was like, and it was black and white, it was no color feature or anything, but I was like, that's pretty freaking cool. So it's nice.
2 minutes of fame.
Yeah, right. 2 centimeters of photo of fame, but yeah, that's great. And John is local there. He's out of Reno, the owner of Crawl magazine. So yeah, that's cool. And then I got to make this public that I, by all calculations here, Lorenzo just handed me a piece of paper.
Jesus.
I know. He's still working. He does have
What
a
are you
little bourbon
doing?
in his glass. He just started drinking. So I'm going to call this as valid because he just started
Freaking
drinking.
me out, man.
He Amber is now tied with Ultra 4 Jones for number of episodes on
Ooh, shots
on Wheeling
fired.
Wine and Whiskey.
Oh.
So just saying that he's just making sure it's out there to the public, but that's what we got by our records. So
Mike drop.
oh yeah,
get ready to rumble.
Well, he's back in the shop now, so we'll see if he can get the race car done. He's got so many other projects going. He needs to focus
Well,
on
he finally
the
got a
race
good
car.
engine for the
For the 7.3 for the Ford.
the chase truck,
Yeah.
Chase 518.
Yeah. But anyways, I just Lorenzo, thank you.
Quit. Just stop spending so much time videoing for everybody else. Like, it's build a race car.
I know, and that does take a lot of time doing YouTube stuff. I mean, not just videoing, but then you got to do the editing that takes so much time.
Yeah.
But you got to give him credit. He's pushing out the content and has created a following. So
yeah, he's totally on it.
Yeah,
Like, I have no doubt in that dude that he will get that car done and he will race again. And he's a great racer too.
It's going to be exciting for him to take that across the start line and see how it does. I want to see. I've got high hopes for that operation. Yeah.
I put money down in Vegas on it.
All 3 of the Hammers races that he's raced.
I know he's got a good pedigree and a right seat pedigree now. So let's see if he can get back in the driver's seat and remember how to drive. So, anything else?
I'd like to publicly thank everybody that helped us on camp this year at King of the Hammers. It was awesome. We had a group of people that came together. We were there for 3 weeks. We had people come in early, help us mark off our territory. The tent went up. The kitchen went up. Jack was pivotal. Oh, the mayor of, Hammertown Heights Estates. And then Wayne coming in with his Starlink. What do you have? 46 people on that Starlink, and he still didn't crash it?
Something, in the 40s. Yeah, he was trying to crash it. He had some net thing going on, web net thing.
Tom and Lenny for bringing the chairs and the tables and decorating and.
Oh my God! How about that? That was incredible, and that's what makes this thing work. Is everybody contributes something, right?
Yeah.
And
the
firewood.
What was the name of that guy that brought that?
What'd you say, Amber?
That stump. That thing was literally 6 feet in diameter.
He was the motorcycle guy that was camped next to me.
That was the guy that you let into camp, or he was part of, or we incorporated his camp because he was the motorcycle guy.
Yeah.
He was a little few cans short of a 6-pack, let's just say. And but he left for a few days. He comes back.
No, it was a Ford.
Was that a Toyota pickup or something?
No,
it was
a
small
Ford.
Was it a Ford fucking Ranger?
No, it was a Ford
Track.
Sport Track.
Yeah.
Oh, Sport Track. Yeah,
that
it was
the pickup. Remember the Ford Explorer that had a pickup?
Yeah,
it's like an
Ford Explorer with a pickup.
It's like a Ridgeline, like
and
a Honda
Ridgeline. That stump was
yeah.
bigger than the bed of his truck, and he rolled that sucker on.
Yeah, it was this monstrosity that he came in with and threw it on the fire, and we go, fuck, that thing's going to burn for the next 6 days, and it lasted like 24 hours.
I triple took on that thing. When I was walking back into camp from Ultra 3 racing that night, I'm drunk, I'm trudging up the hill, I'm looking at this fire pit and I'm saying, who brought the fucking tree?
I stumbled out of my trailer the next morning, and when I saw that it wasn't in the fire pit anymore, I was like, I didn't drink that much last night.
Yeah, but it takes a whole team, and it was awesome this year.
Yeah, it was very good. The food was incredible. Our food crews did an awesome job, and
we're better.
We're looking forward to next year. But we got some fun events between now and then. Trail Hero. That is teeing up to be an incredible event in October,
and we don't have to leave for Rebel Rally this year, Amber. We're staying for Trail Hero.
No, I was gonna say last year was one of the best years, but it was sad to watch you guys go. I was excited for you, but I was sad at the same time when you left camp. I'm like, Mom,
that was
where are you going? Don't leave me at summer camp with all these delinquents. And then I got to go out on trails with Randy by myself. I'm like, where's my mom?
Mother. Hello, Father.
Wow.
No, it was great. Great times. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, and our buggy crowd is growing with James and Rhonda. So this is going to be a fun summer once we can get the
Yeah.
snow to melt and get out on the trails. And
Yeah.
Chris is going to be out on the trails. His Jeep is running.
100%.
Yeah,
Just working on some accessories,
accessorizing.
lighting and
Hey,
switches.
I
and
saw-
Yeah,
so
the
forth and so
essentials.
on.
You need the lighting.
I saw
I got
switches.
16 light
I saw
bars.
Lights
switches
before
today
lockers.
on
I
a
have
TikTok,
lockers.
and they put it in the
Yeah?
ashtray. Oh, did you see that?
I don't have an ashtray.
Oh, I saw that. That was
Yeah.
Cruising to Camp had that.
Yeah, that
They
was
pulled
pretty
out
slick.
the Switch Pros. That was pretty slick. I'll tell you, I'm a big fan of Switch Pros now. That was that's really solid.
Hashtag Jason
Pretty cool
money.
system.
No, it is. It really is. I know there's other ones out there, but their system, and then they upgraded the app, which is way better. So, but what you can do with that is
So,
pretty
Amber,
freaking
you
cool.
ready
It's
for
worth every
Gambler?
dime. So,
Come
I
on,
don't
think
know.
about
I
it.
don't even think that
Any
far
of your
ahead.
guests out there into Gambler, I want to hear about it.
So-
If okay, I'll
gotta
think
find a
about it.
vehicle. Is it $500 or what's the premise
Hey.
of the whole thing?
I bought the Samurai for $500.
Yeah. See.
So,
Yeah, but
It-
you've got way more than that into it now.
well, yeah, it's all safety stuff though.
That's
Oh,
all
yeah.
safety
That'll
stuff.
work.
I like that. It's all for safety. That's a good sales point. It's all for safety. You can't put a price tag on
That's a
safety.
stretch.
The Gambler
Yeah.
500 is
Yeah.
a trash pickup.
Yeah.
Organized trash pickup.
Organized trash pickup.
Yeah,
So
it's turned.
Yeah.
But
It's
but
like
it
a
was like $500 for a car, and you're gonna go through this
Yeah.
Autobahn style course deal or whatever. Yeah.
no, just
But,
a
Demolition
a
derby?
trail,
No,
a
it's
rally
not
race
demolition
kind of
derby,
thing.
Chris.
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's been
No,
on my
it's
bucket list for a
it's
couple
very
years.
cool.
And whoever
Well,
finishes
there you
with the
go.
most parts, do they weigh the
You could-
car at the beginning and weigh at the end? Whoever
You could
weighs the most at the end wins.
right.
Oh yeah,
You could
Yeah.
take the new V
we could
Cross.
take the V Cross. It's not a $500
See?
car, but we
Alright.
could take the V Cross and the Samurai and go have at it.
I'll smash
See?
the
Yeah.
Samurai, but you
No,
can't smash
can't
the
smash the
Cross.
And
You're
hey,
not doing
we
any hard stuff.
go up and get Jesse's
No.
car. No, you're not going there. Okay,
I'm not
Nah,
going
she did it
there.
on a mini bike.
Oh,
she did it. No, she did
Not
it
going
in a Mazda and Miata. Yeah, she did the 500 in a Miata.
Miata. That's right.
Yeah,
It was a
it's the
Miata.
Miata.
Miatas are a great little rally car. You
So
kidding me?
yeah, okay. Well, that brings up that. Jesus, you've done so much since Hammers, Easter Jeep Safari, Moab. You
Yeah.
got to drive Goldie Rocks.
Yeah.
So let's touch on that real quick before we wrap this thing up.
Well, before I got to drive it, I was invited down to Phoenix to work on it. So this year, before King of the Hammers, Jesse Combs Foundation took possession of her old race Jeep, Goldie Rocks. And so me and Ava, one of Jesse's good friends, Ava drove it in and I co-drove with her, and we drove it into Hammertown. That was the big
That's
unveil
right.
for
That
it.
at the Warren Factor 55 booth.
Yeah, it was at the Warren booth all week.
Yep.
So from Hammers, it went to Phoenix, and I want to say, I think March, I was invited down to Phoenix to give the car a once-over to make sure it was ready for Easter Jeep Safari. So they're using it as another, basically, vessel to educate, inspire, and empower the next generation of female trailblazers. So I got to go down and work on the Jeep. A couple of the scholarship recipients came down and worked on the Jeep. Bogey helped work on the Jeep because she's out of Phoenix. Serena from SDHQ helped work on it. We had just a ton of women come together to get the Jeep ready for Easter Jeep Safari. And they offered me the opportunity to drive it for part of the day that we had
That's
it out
cool.
there. So,
What was it like getting behind the wheel? I mean, I know, like you got to drive it at Hammers, and that's pretty freaking spectacular, right? Because the who's who is at the Hammers too. Was there just like, did it give you goosebumps when you sat in there and turned the
It's got to
freaking
be an
key? I
energy,
mean,
a
there's got to
certain
be
energy.
something. You gotta like the inner Jesse comes out or something.
Oh, that's got to be what it was, actually, when you put it that way. You know, I sat in it and I was like, I just want to go fast. And
I
that's
just want to go fast.
And that was kind of the thing Jessie would say, you know? That
Mhm.
she was the fastest woman on 4 wheels. And
Hell
so
yeah.
it was another huge full circle event in my life. And
Right.
and being around all the other women that have been inspired by her and helping out on this
Then
Jeep, it
tell
was
them,
like great.
tell them
It was
about the
awesome. It was
run
an
at
awesome
EJS.
Yeah.
So we did what was the name? Secret
Secret
Spires?
Spires.
What was the name of the
I can't remember the name of the trail, but it was
I can't remember the name of the trail right now either.
But you had a lot of big guns on that
the
trail. That was
first
a
annual
well-attended event.
Jesse Combs
Yeah.
Foundation.
So Dolly
Okay.
was there.
First annual Trailblazers run. It's by invite only. I think we had 20 or so rigs. Warren was there. Factor 55 was there. Holly was there. You know, Holly Mischief Maker was
Charlene.
Yeah.
there. HQ was there. Serena was there. Charlene Bauer was there.
Bailey
Awesome.
Campbell.
Ladies Off-Road Network. Yep.
Bailey
Oh,
Campbell.
yeah, I've heard of her before.
Very cool.
Lisa.
Yeah, that's right.
Barlow. Nina.
Nina Barlow.
Oh, Nina Barlow.
Nina was our trail guide. She picked the trail and guided us through it, and she was on the ham radio the whole time, giving us the whole rundown of the trail.
It was awesome.
Yeah, that's her backyard.
Yeah.
And then
Teresa.
Design Muse was there, right?
Yeah, Teresa was there.
Teresa, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's her name?
Justin from Factor 55.
Gosh.
I saw him doing a little winch demo.
Yeah. Even dude, Nina posted a video later. Like even her and I learned stuff from Justin's demonstration. Like everybody went away from that, no matter what your experience level was in off-roading. Like everybody learned something from Justin's demonstration.
Yeah, I actually, I wish there was video of the whole thing, but I do want to pick your brains about some of the takeaways from that because, we teach that off-road clinic we got actually next weekend, and I'm always looking to hear, real world experience with winching and stuff to see what's going on. So
yeah,
we'll talk offline about that.
Pam Hall was there.
Okay.
And then the big tall
Pam
lady.
Hall.
Oh, she's so sweet.
Pam
drives
Hall.
a Miata.
Oh gosh, not Dana. She lives in Simi Valley. We know that.
Yeah. Darn. She does announcing for Rebel.
Jane?
Lady.
Emmy?
No,
Oh.
No, not
No,
Emmy.
not Emmy.
Okay.
No.
real tall, like 6 feet, 6'1".
Oh gosh.
So yeah, there was the Jesse Combs run, and you got to drive Goldie Rocks in Moab. You flew out there, and got to do that. I mean, super cool. The opportunities that have presented themselves to you over the years here is pretty cool. Where you've come so far.
So proud of
We're
you.
so proud of you.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
I never in a million years thought any of this would ever happen. I just wanted to race my stupid little car.
Well, it's a cool thing, right? You surround yourself with successful people, and gosh, you'll be successful too. And it's no short of effort on your part and your drive and desire to make it happen. Because as most people have said, and I think even Ian Johnson, as one of your biggest fans, is like, this is the worst vehicle you could choose to race King of the Hammers. So it just shows your determination and especially now where you're at the bomber, fabrication. It's like, that everybody asks, why isn't Amber in a bomber car? Well, the answer is because you want to prove that you can do it in a samurai, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Hard-headed. You're not Italian,
A
are
little
you?
bit.
Me?
A little bit. Yeah. No, it's super cool. It's been fun. Yeah, yeah, hey, what's the matter you? But it's been fun to ride on your coattails on this journey, and thank you for having us. And it's we will continue to document the journey as long as you keep making good content here. Make good choices, as your mom would say.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, obviously, the friendships that have developed out of this too have
Well-behaved
been
women
awesome. So
don't
thanks for
make
that.
history.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love you guys.
that's right. Well-behaved women do not make history. That's exactly right.
And on the
That's
same
right.
token, rising tide lifts all boats.
Yes,
There you
yes, that's
go.
my favorite line. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, cheers to that. Well, gang, this has been fun. Thank you for this little impromptu podcast. And yeah, we wanted to get you caught up with Kevin Jones and and wanted to document your journey through the hammers, because it was a monumental year, your 4th year, and next year let's get you in before that clock stops.
Oh yeah, that was always kind of my plan. Was I was getting so tired of it at one point that I gave myself 5 years. I told myself I could quit after 5 years, and I finished my race on year 4, and I had so much fun doing it. Like I want to do it again and again and again. So I'm just gonna keep going and see where it takes me.
So here's a little pro tip. I think you should take one of those mini bombers and put your body panels on it and race next year. That's just what I'm saying.
4,600.
Don't think I'm it when I do build a mini bomber, it will be silver with pink stripes.
Hey, there you go. Have you ever listened to that song by Johnny Cash, One Piece at a Time?
Oh, dude. When I posted that I had got the job, I had like 4 different people send that to me. I was like, come on.
Just one little piece out of the shop. Randy won't notice, you know. So good.
Where'd this car come from?
Yeah. Holy shit.
It just rolls up out of the dirt behind the barn. It's fine.
That's right.
It's
that's
a
right.
51, 61, 71, 2. All right. What do you got, Chris?
I got nothing. This has been a blast. I'm super happy to be able to visit with all of you, especially the day before Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, Dolly, and to all the other mothers out there that listen to this podcast. I know our demographic's mostly men, but cheers.
No, we actually have a large women following.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you look at it's
Okay.
larger than most automotive podcasts for whatever reason. I think it's because of Chris's looks.
Right.
It's definitely not the heavy breathing.
Pardon
No,
me
it's
while I
just
whip this
gas.
out.
Wow. And there you
And
go.
our ass.
And on that note, toodaloo, we are out.
So if you want to get a hold of Jason or Chris, you can email us at Jason or Chris at wheelingwinewhiskey.com. You can also catch us on the Instagram at wheelingwinewhiskey. Do not forget about the phone number where you can leave a voice message for Jason or I, and we'll play it on the show.
That's right.
And the number is 408-800-5169. What is that number?
408-800-5169. And we got to get the IGs out for Amber.
That's right. Amber, what's your IG?
And Dolly.
Dubbers. DABURRS.
That's it. So if you are not following Amber, you need to do that right meow.
Right.
And then Dolly, what is your IG handle?
DOLLY.
Oh gosh,
That's
I don't
right.
even.
And then
What
Eric,
is?
you want to share your IG?
He's looking
See,
it
putting
up.
you on the spot.
No idea. Okay, hold on.
He's looking it up.
Eric
like-
had a 4.
Yeah, it's Eric. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
a 4.
Eric had
Number
a 4.
Is
4.
that Eric with a K or a C?
Yep.
2 N's, number 4. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Anyways, good stuff.
All right. And
Well-
then, also you can go to our website, www.wheelingwinewhiskey.com, where you see all of our older episodes. And of course, links to our merch, and we're also where we're selling our element fire extinguishers. And
That's
talking
right.
About all this racing, you definitely want to be safe and have an element in your rig.
There you go. And yeah, I think that's a good episode
Thank
there, Chris.
Heck
Guys.
yeah, absolutely.
Thank you,
It was fun.
Eric, Dolly, Amber,
Yeah.
for joining us.
Always a good time.
The Hannah family's little all across the California here. We got Northern California represented, and Southern California, and then even Nevada
will
here. So this is great.
Bringing everybody
We'll
together
probably
with
see you two
technology.
next
Yes.
weekend
Have the technology.
in Hall.
Hollister.
Oh,
Yep,
all right.
we're gonna come visit.
Oh, are you
On the
coming
couch.
Oh,
down?
really? You coming down? Okay.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
Are you gonna
depends
camp or are
on
you gonna
work,
just
but
drop in for
chances
the
are,
day?
hopefully, we'll camp out Friday night. Then, not too sure about Saturday night.
Okay. Cool.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right,
Perfect.
well, hopefully we'll see you. That'd be awesome.
Toodaloo.
All right. With that, Dolly, we're. I tried to get her to say it.
Come on,
I'm
Chris.
not topping
Come on,
that.
Chris. Say
Okay.
it. Say it. I dare
That's
you.
it. It's a wrap.
We're
Toodaloo.
out.
Toodaloo. Chris?
Toodaloo.
Toodaloo.